Hey, and welcome back to Resilient Automotive Performance. Today, we are in the garage and we're going to be installing this big brake kit onto our Project Conquest, as well as finish up some of the suspension bits and get our hubs reassembled so that we can even get these brakes on. I'm excited to walk through this portion of the project. This is definitely something that I think is going to add a lot of performance and a unique factor to this Conquest build. And if you guys are enjoying this content, remember to like and subscribe. All right, let's get to the part you guys are definitely just here to see. Here are the Wilwood 4-piston calipers by Revolution Brakes out of Oregon. This is what we're going to be installing over the single piston floating caliper unit that comes stock on the Starion. Chrysler Conquest. I keep getting them mixed up. So, 2 for the front and left brakes. Here are the massive 330 millimeter drilled front brakes. Oh, sorry. They are both drilled and slotted. These things are massive. I mean, they're larger. I can't even use these. These things are bigger than the original brake dust shield. So they're substantially larger. It's actually pretty wild. Here, you know what? Let me grab the stock ones real quick. There we go. Here's a little size comparison of the two brakes. Massive difference. It also shows you how much modifications we're going to have to do with this kit in order to get the brakes to align. There we go. Revolution brake. Here's everything you're going to see. So this is for the Mitsubishi Starion and the Conquest. Wilwood unit. This one is powder coated as well as slotted and cross drilled. And it is not exactly a cheap kit. This came out to roughly $1,300. You have some of the warnings and instructions that come within the boxing. So you get the 4-piston calipers, the brake discs themselves. Here is some of the mounting hardware. Get my camera to focus. Oh, geez. Here we go. So you get some of the mounting hardware. That circular unit is M2003. And this brake plate that attaches to the spindle is M2002. We got some new brake lines and bleeder screws. The new pads themselves. These are some thick boys. Lots of surface area for dissipating heat. All new hardware for installing and aligning the kit, as well as the 6 bolts and washers that you're going to need to attach to the spindle. So to flush out the old brake fluid, I just have some Lucas Oil synthetic .4 brake fluid. That stuff is like $12 from Walmart. And then what we'll be using once we have the whole system installed and bled is some Modal 600. That stuff is a lot more expensive. About 3 bottles of this is $54 right now. I think we'll only need 2 once the system is flushed. We also have a new master cylinder by Wilwood. Now, I do have my questions about this. If you look, this is this horizontal mounting flange. And on the stock Conquest, you're going to see that it's a vertical flange. So it's definitely much different, and I am going to need to see in their kit how they adapt to it, whether it's just some bizarre looking vertical to horizontal flange adapter. I didn't see anything included in the Wilwood Brake Master kit that would give me anything like that, so we're going to see if I'm going to have to ultimately get onto CAD and design something up real quick and get that cut. So here we have the fully assembled front strut attached to the spindle. As you can see, I've already painted it. It is in this Rust-Oleum high performance enamel. I really like how it turned out. I think it gives it an OEM look and ends up going well with the glossy black that the springs have and the overall black and orange color combination of the K-Sports. I currently have them set to roughly stock height, just as I'm getting these set up with the larger 17-inch wheels and rims. This will not be the final height of the struts. I do plan on having the front end lowered probably by about 1.5 inches. I just used some plumbing thread tape to roughly match where they were when I had them on the car originally when I was moving the vehicle in our move. So as you can see, I'm already in the process of getting the hubs complete, packing the bearings, and then we'll be installing a new rear oil seal from National. Here's the old one. Part number for you guys. Part number is 494122. So these actually get called out as an oil seal. They're not specific to just these bearings per se. So that was a little confusing. I thought these oil seals, thing that ultimately shields the big end bearing on the hubs, was going to be included with these National bearings, but it is not. So you will want to order 2 of these if you're going to be repairing and restoring your hubs. See, in the process of getting the old races out, it did punch out the lug nuts just due to vibration. So I'll be reinstalling those as well. And then I've just kept everything that came in the uninstall of the hubs. I used the smaller bearings, I believe this would be the outer bearings, are Timken. And the larger bearings, the inside bearings, are by National. Both of these you can get just at local retailers. They may be renamed, whatever the AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Napa variant is. But I had read that Timken and National are both good brands to use, good wheel bearing sets to use when rebuilding and just replacing the wheel bearings on your hubs. Good thing to know when you are building these coilovers is that each spindle is marked right and left, and that does correspond with the right and left coilover. So you'll see on here, this is the front right, which is going to correspond with the right-hand side spindle. So you can get those wrong. You can look on MKS Motorsport, Mikey Sorrell. I watch his videos in order to learn more about how to install these K-Sports onto Mitsubishi Starions and Chrysler Conquests. His content's great. Definitely something to reference if you're going to undergo this project. So here are the Titan wheel spacers we're going to be using. I do have aligning rings to make sure that these line up concentrically and that the load is going to the hub and not the lug nuts. I believe this is about a 15 millimeters in thickness. These guys are for the front wheels, and then I have some 10 millimeter spacers, again, with some concentric aligning rings for the rears to make sure that the rims clear the brake calipers, especially on the front. I think you're going to be completely fine on the rear of the vehicle because we're keeping stock rear brakes on the rear. So something that is helpful to Revolution Brakes does include some documentation on how to align and get these brakes set up with the kit. You can see MI2002 and MI2003 where it is going to attach to the hub and getting things aligned. We've got the caliper, the disc attaching to the Starion hub, in this case Conquest. The original dust shield mounting point is where MI2003 gets located, and then MI2002 slides over that, and then we use those 6 bolts and washers to attach them. So that's where these guys are going to come into play, mount onto our spindle, and that will go on before we put the new wheel hubs back onto the spindle. And you can see there, I already got a little started. All right, last but not least, here you can see the hub is installed and is now supporting the Wilwood brake kit for this Project Conquest. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe and comment down below if you've got any questions, and follow our Project Conquest build that we currently have up in the playlists included at the end screen. Thanks.